But fast forwarding, we in the Niger Delta in the past 4 years have come to live under and have accepted that the past 4 years have been a government of selective governance that have favored one part of Nigeria and have denied other parts of Nigeria, that have favored one religion and have denied another religion. Now, if you were born after 1970, even after the first coup, then you are really unlikely to know of the experiences and the effects of the June 1969 coup and the subsequent coup of the 1969 coup was in January, and the subsequent coup was in July, which is termed the revenge coup. And the 1969 coup was a coup that brought General Gowon into power. And at the time that General Gowon took over power, it's a pity that history was taken out of our curriculum, educational curriculum in the schools. And I think that I believe the effects of why it was taken out is what people are experiencing now, especially if you were born, as I said, after 1970. Now, when General Gowon took over power by the military taking over, the first approach of the General Gowon-led government was for the North to secede from Nigeria. But it was the United States and the United Kingdom that advised him and his military cabinet not to secede, and thereby planting the idea in Nigeria through them of a government that is dominated by a military that was headed by a particular section, and of course that this if they stayed in Nigeria and had such powers, that it a better option. And so here we are today. We all must recall, if you were and at that I know what I'm talking about, but if you were born 20, then the news able to verify the points and the issue this morning on the first day. Now, in General Gowon abolished derivation formula. Now, that was available was the derivation formula of 50% the particular region was producing, i.e. cocoa, and the government, military government, revenue management, which gas alone, that was newly created states like federating the coming old River State out of the, and then River State was born, and officer of. So crisis, therefore, that in today we are talking about out that we should stop somewhere. We must stop these complaints before 1970. The reason for 1970. So his directives abolished the derivation formula. It meant that the states, the people that were people that things had ended. So the oil and gas now, which was a military government. So the crisis, injustice, then the Niger Delta resources was now lost for almost 50 years. No matter the government that has come in, whether it's military or a periodic government, it took, and so time, and any other region or state that was regions and were denied access of the derivation, all the way from 50%, 0%, and then eventually balanced out at 13 is unjust. But the other argument also should actually be that we are not even sure 13% that we know have our interest as a people and a region, and not people who have interest, personal interest in political and economic power for themselves. And this is why the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement has decided that there must be a move from here on to engage with women and the youths of the region, to make politicians to work with us. I use the word make because politicians must work with the people of the region. For us to speak with one voice and demand for devolution of power and the restructuring of Nigeria. Now, restructuring of Nigeria is not a call to break Nigeria. It is rather a strong call for the states who are groaning under this injustice to ask for autonomy within Nigeria to own, manage, and generate their resources and revenues, and contribute an agreed percentage for the running of the federal government. Really and truly, it is criminal to continue to expect Niger Delta to bear the running cost of a country like Nigeria, the largest black nation in the world, and we the Niger Delta people, we the people of 6 states are bearing the brunt of keeping Nigeria going economically. And this has brought in the injustice that we're complaining about, and actually puts at risk our future for our children and our today. The National Assembly is the legislative arm. Now, the demands that we are making that will bring justice and equity, those demands really should go through the legislature the way our constitution is set up. That because the legislature is set up in a way that gives advantage to a certain area in Nigeria and disadvantage to another area, we will find it very, very difficult. And so the complaints, if you like, or the position where we find ourselves today will be resolved by changes in our politics, in our processes, in the decisions that have been made, in the constitution that is working against us. The condemning of people who are calling for restructuring and self-determination by politicians is not going to should not stop people from asking for restructuring. A lot of people have keyed into ignorantly, and I don't mean any disrespect, but a lot of people have ignorantly keyed into the narrative that restructuring, that where people are asking for restructuring because they are selfish, that people are asking for restructuring because they want to break away. No, that is not why people are asking for restructuring. People are asking for restructuring because it is the only avenue available remaining for equity and justice